Hey, so I'm down in my office getting ready, starting to pack up for the roller derby today. A couple things going on. I've got a portrait shoot just prior to that, some makeups, some additional members have joined the league, so I'm going to be doing their roster photos. I'm kind of in line with the rest of them, as well as we've got two bouts afterwards with Ann Arbor. So I'm going to cover both of those bouts. So it's got a really big day ahead of me, but I wanted to kind of take you along. So let's show you what's in the bag. Okay, let's get ready to pack up this bag. This is my airport roller derby, the name of the bag, from Think Tank. It's kind of new to me. I haven't used a roller before. I was using hard cases before that, as well as backpacks before that. So still working out this bag, but so far I'm really enjoying it. I've got my Sony A7R4, 70 to 200, as well as I'm bringing my Godox flash. This is the V1 Pro, a 24 to 70 and 16 to 35 lenses here. I've got my, this is my spider belt, which is why you see this kind of contraption on here. I don't really like the way it looks. I'm still struggling with just the vibe on this sucker, but functionally it's been really good to me. So I continue to use it. This is something new I'm going to be trying. This is from the MagMod. This is the kind of magnet attachment for the flash. I'm going to see if I can't bring up my group shots a little bit with that, because the lighting is always so bad. And that's just kind of the basic kits. I'm going to be doing some portraits to start off with, so that'll be 7200 most likely, as it typically is. This is the workhorse lens for roller derby. For me, when I'm shooting from either the inside or the out of the track, I do like to mix it up occasionally. Maybe I'll shoot the second half of a bout with a wider lens, just to get some mixture of images and such, as well as when I'm preparing for the group shot, which I typically will take. It's a little bit of a madhouse, which you'll probably see as we go into it. So by the time I'm coming down to the last couple of minutes of the bout and they're about ready to call it, I'll usually will already have switched out to the 24 to 70. So if people assemble quickly, if there is some last minute MVP award, something like that, that I'm not running back to my bag and fumbling with a 7200. I like to have this already on the body and ready to go. So I will probably do that, as well as maybe put the flash on the hot shoe as well. So we'll see, but that's the bag set up for today, and we'll get to it. And we're off. So as I go into this shoot, this is going to be Lansing versus Ann Arbor. They both have two teams participating. So Derby, you often will find that there's multiple teams in the league. Sometimes it's divided, to adults and juniors, or there's often kind of a skill level at play, right? So that you don't have, the top skaters versus the newest, or freshies as they're often called. You don't want to have those. So we'll see a pretty even makeup of teams. So we'll do portraits early on, some makeups. This will probably be the second time this year for them. Usually, there's people who want makeups, or they've changed, or they've got some new members. So today is kind of a makeup day that I'll do some roster photos before the bouts. So using my standard setup, I'm going to kind of go in with this, 7200 for most of it. I do shoot a lot on the inside. I do shoot a lot of close type of stuff. Depending, it's one of those sports. It just depends on what. But in my opinion, if you don't shoot close, you need to try to really capture some good action along the way. Otherwise, it looks more like kind of just bundles of people, right? It's hard to get separation. You get a lot of the blockers. You just get a lot of activity going. And if you're if you're just looking at the images, it's hard to see or hard to understand what's going on. But if I shoot close, even with that, you tend to get a lot of emotion. You tend to get a lot of the the grit part of it, which I really like. But then again, try to pull back for action shots, especially if you know you've got players that tend to jump, apex jumpers, anything that you kind of identify in advance, then we'll definitely focus in on them. So that's it for now. We'll get to the venue here. I've got just a few minutes of a drive. Get to the venue here, and we'll start getting set up. If you've never shot a venue before, if this is your first time shooting, a sport even, make sure you have the lay of the land. Give yourself some time. Give yourself a minute to catch your breath. Get your thoughts in order. Think about the event. Think about the rules. Think about things you want to do. Because obviously, if you've shot sports before or any similar action events, once you're kind of in the moment, it's mostly muscle memory at that point. You don't want to be thinking about how should I have set up my camera, what settings should I have used. You're just in the zone and you're trying to do the best job you can. So I like to be here early. I like to get a few minutes with my thoughts. And consider if I'm going to do anything different or if I've learned any lessons. We can talk about settings real quick since we got a minute. We'll see if we have to adjust anything. The lights are always bad. Anytime you're in an indoor sport, you can pretty much guarantee the lights are going to be bad. These venues are no different. So I'm going to be anywhere between 4,000 to 6,000 ISO, just depending upon kind of what's going on. Once you kind of really dial it in, I typically, for these teams at this venue, I think I'm pretty good at about 4,000 ISO. I like to keep my shutter speed, 800th of a second, thereabouts, anywhere between 6 to 8. Just kind of depends again what's going on. And of course, I'll be at the lowest aperture I've got on the 7200, be 2.8. Sometimes if you have a prime, or if you don't have a 7200, there's still a lot of good stuff to do with primes. I've shot some roller derby with I've got a 135 1.8. Takes a little bit of practice because there is no zoom, but the 1.8 is nice, especially in really dark venues, which here in Michigan we have a couple that I've been at that are pretty much in the basement when it comes to light, anyways. So that's always going to be the number one thing. So that's kind of where we'll be at. We'll adjust. I'll take you along if I make any adjustments along the way. I'll try to let you know, and we'll go from there. Okay, just got done with first round of portraits. Sorry I couldn't cover much of the setup. I got some behind the scenes footage though. It's always a bit crazy. Didn't have a ton of people this time. I think it was 10, 12, somewhere about that. But again, they have 4 jerseys each for this team. So it's kind of 4 back-to-back wardrobe changes across everybody else. But I'll give you a quick look around here. All right, so I did a white backdrop. All these pictures have been white. For future stuff, we may go with a different color, but a white backdrop. Lit. These are Godox 8600s. Lit there. Side lights for some rim, using these big 45 reflectors. Same thing on the other side, over here, as well as I've got a big parabolic And then I'm also shooting tethered, which I found to be very helpful for these situations, especially when you're looking for focus and especially when you're moving quick. Having them all be tethered to the laptop makes sense. All right, quick note on light ratios, because I often forget until I get into get into things. On the backlight, here, let me spin this around. On the backlight here, I'm at 1/4 power. The rim lights are at a 16th, and then if I go to the key light is at 1/8. I was at 1/4, but I dialed it back a little bit. It's getting a little too much highlight on people's faces, so I kind of backed that off a little bit. So rim lights just need a little bit. Don't want that to wash out too much. 1/16. Backlight, because I'm trying to blow out the background to be pure white, at 1/4 power. Key light at 1/8. Did adjust it a few times for people wearing glasses. That's always, between their head movement and also moving the light, try to dial that in a little bit. But I think overall successful. So right now, it's about 3:25, waiting on just a couple last minute people to show up, hopefully, for the last couple of pictures. Then I'll pack up as quickly as I can, and I'll be back at it, get ready for the bouts. Stay tuned. All right, so I am working my way over, set up in the corner as usual. I'm just gonna walk over here on the outside. Always trying to keep an eye out for what's different, if anything. Make sure I'm not unprepared for something, a light being out or something different. So far it looks pretty much the same. Okay, here I am. We are good to go. I've got 3 minutes to derby time. Hearing protection's in. Warm-ups are happening. I'm probably going to start on the inside track. I'll try to take it along as best as I can. In between, obviously when I'm high action, I'll probably be shooting. But let's see how this turns out. Stepping up inside, just between turns 3 and 4. We're about ready to get started. Everybody's ready to go. We're almost done with the first half. Get some video here. Back on 22. Okay, we are at intermission. I've got my snack because, God, I needed one. Concessions always helps me out, but if you're shooting a game of any kind, bring snacks and water or some kind of hydration. It sneaks up on you, so I'll eat this. So far, it's been a pretty good bout. Pretty well matched. Lansing's leading 116-65, but both teams have been very physical. It's been pretty well matched. Couple things. Good news, no injuries as of yet, no stoppage due to potential injury. They always have a couple medics here by law, I guess, probably by law. There's always a couple medics in play. I know them pretty well. I've gotten to know them. You got to make friends with anybody, make friends with the medics. But all is good there. I'm just going to eat this snack. I'm going to try to go through maybe a few more things for you guys in terms of maybe some tips here in just a minute. Okay, still at intermission. A couple things. When you're shooting from the inside, like where I'm standing right now, I'm in the square. You're going to want to hold your ground, right? As you see, the referees, the officials are zipping around you on skates. You're not on skates. You don't want to be flopping around. You don't want to be flinching as they come by. Because you need to count on them to move around you. But you got to keep your head on a swivel, because earlier I almost got ran out of my square, especially when they're rolling backwards. They don't always see you, so always keep eyes open, head on a swivel. Also, when you're on the inside and you've got your camera, just like from concerts and such, you want to maintain a really tight view or a tight fit, right? You see, like my arms aren't flopping out here. I'm not taking a lot of space. I want to keep really tight. I want to pretend I'm not even here. You don't want anything to get caught with people zipping around you. Some great shots available to you on the inside, but you got to be safe. These people are on skates. They're moving fast. They will take you out. Or worse, you take them out, right? You don't want to be knocking over an official. You don't want to be interrupting about. You want to be as invisible as you possibly can, given that situation. So be safe, but know your space, right? Stick to it, and you should be fine. If you've never photographed derby before and you're trying it out, you don't have to jump on the inside. Sometimes there's not even a box on the inside. I know these guys here real well, so they know I like to show the inside. They always have a box for me, but it's not unusual to stick to the outside just until you get used to it, because you're as a higher risk when you're on the inside. Okay, down the first bout, step outside just for some air. Everything went pretty darn good. Tired though, as I knew it would be. It's been a long day, starting with the photos earlier this afternoon. So all is good though. Getting some good shots, I think. We'll see. Trying to put these videos together as best as I can for you. Hopefully taking you along for the ride. We'll see. Second bout's up in about 24 minutes, so I'm gonna sit down for a little bit, take a breather, and then go from there. So, thanks.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy right here. You see this guy? What's up?
Harbor, Sydney Bean. Herb Torino sneaking by, being your new jammer, but not too far. None of your business working on that Lansing defense, trying to keep the pack moving, trying to stretch out that defense to be able to squeak by. Barbie Flay looking for an opening on the outside, but coming in from down low, Ann Arbor soul crushes Barbie Flay. Sydney being able to sneak on by, secure that lead jammer position.
All right, I am back in the truck. It is just before 9 p.m. We started this shooting at 2 p.m. So I am feeling it a little bit. I'm not as flexible as I used to be. 2 bouts and the portraits was quite a bit. I had a great time. Everything worked out really well. You're still with me. Appreciate it. We're going to continue on our journey to my after bout ritual, which is usually swing by McDonald's. Not that that's my favorite food by any means, but it is kind of a concert ritual that I always adopted coming back from concerts, was kind of McDonald's on the way home. I haven't eaten anything since probably 8 a.m. This morning, so I'm pretty hungry. I had the Snickers bar at halftime, but overall I'm still pretty hungry. So we're gonna swing by McDonald's, and then get home, get mostly unpacked, and start getting these images onto drives. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. You too. Now, as much as I've tried, I've never been good at eating while heading down the road. So I'm going to pull over here for a minute. There we go. All right, well, here I am in the truck, parked at McDonald's, doing my usual routine. Ooh, those fries are hot. I didn't end up using the flash for the group shots. I just honestly, I had a lot going on, and I felt like it was just be one more thing that I was kind of experimenting with. I'll experiment with that on another shoot where I don't have quite so much going on. The groups were in pretty good shape, but I just didn't need anything else right then. So just shot regular without the flash. I think it was pretty good. Not a whole lot else to say. I'm gonna sit here for a minute, finish up my dinner, get home, and then probably next time we'll be importing images so we can get these suckers going, because I need to still, even though it's 9 o'clock, I still need to get my first cull preferably done tonight, so I can let my denoise batches and such run overnight for final editing tomorrow, because I definitely like to try to get my images out while everything is still fresh. So that's the plan: dinner, cull, and get these suckers batching out. Hey, okay, so we're back. We're home, back in my office. I've got images importing now to my hard drive. That's going to be, looks like I didn't overshoot tonight. We'll see, but I had two cards in the camera. These are both, what are these? These are 128 gig cards. Definitely used up all of one and rolled into the other one. But that was it. So we'll get all those on the computer. Once I know they're safe and sound, I'm also going to try to get the video off of my action camera, and so make sure all my videos are secure. And then I should be ready to start calling. And that will be the next step. Once I get through all of those call, I'll do that a couple rounds, get them through batch tonight, and with all is well, tomorrow I'll be a little bit more rested, and we'll go through final edits. Thanks for sticking with me. Hey, good morning. All right, it's the next day. I am rested, mostly. I checked on the images this morning. The import, or the noise reduction was successful. It ran for, I think it was three some odd hours, so not quite as bad. It just kind of depends what's going on, but sometimes it takes a while. So those are done. I got 273 from the first call. And this morning what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring those into Lightroom. I'm going to apply some basic edits just off the jump. See if I have any presets that I've created that tend to work for different venues and such. And then I'll do another call, make sure they're all good, they're all sharp. I didn't get anything in there that I don't want to. Do some crops and final adjustments, and then those will get ready to put out there in galleries and on my social media. So we're going to do all that here in a second, but first we need some coffee, because I need some coffee. Let's go. Okay, on our way for some coffee. I'll probably hang out at the coffee shop for a while and work on those images. I like to mix it up sometimes. I've got a good office space, but sometimes, it's also can be distracting if I've got multiple things going on. So when I'm doing the final edits, there's many mornings that I'll just do it from my local coffee shop, just because they know me pretty well over there. I hang out there quite a bit, and I can kind of focus, put my headphones on, and get this done. So we'll probably do that. There we go. Okay, we've got our coffee. We're ready to start on this last calling of images. 273 images to get through. Final call. Let's get it done. Welcome back. Okay, I just got back from the coffee shop, back in my office. Final call got done, took me down to 108 images. So we went from roughly 2,400 or so to 108. Applied some presets, tweaked a number of images, mainly cropped. I tend to crop almost all of the images when I do, just because sometimes it doesn't take much crop, but just a little bit to frame things out better than they came straight out of camera, especially with sports. I don't know about you, but I tend to shoot a little wider when I can, in the sense of giving my frame a little bit extra space, because people move so fast, you get things cut off. So I try to go a little wider, and then just adjust with a bit of crop. Sometimes successful, sometimes not, but that's the general idea. So I applied them all in Lightroom, did my export, put them all up on my Facebook page. That's where I get the most kind of just activity. The players and the leagues like to tag each other and see some images. I'll also work on getting them put up to my website gallery, which of course has a little bit better quality than you would get off of Facebook. So I like to keep them there as well. Other than that, that's kind of been the journey. We went from starting up, packing our gear, took you along for the ride as best as I could, anyways, for the 2 bouts and the photo shoot, and now we're done, day 2. So all is well, and hopefully we'll get on to the next project here soon. Thanks for following along.